So
Hey,
I'm so excited to do this. I
I know, me
have been
too.
dying to have a podcast ever since I started doing my little videos every week,
Hmm.
because I actually got a lot of really good feedback, even though I was super nervous doing them because I felt like a cheese dick. I was like, I don't.
No, I loved them. I was like the first one because I'm like really in prep with you, and I was like up at the ass crack of dawn, like doing the same thing you're doing, and I was like, I'd be like getting ready, and like it literally was like talking to my girlfriend, getting ready every morning. I loved it. So
Thank you. It was a lot of
yeah.
fun, but I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback. And, I was like, I just need someone to talk crap with about bodybuilding because my husband is not in that life at all. And I love him, but he thinks it's stupid. So he doesn't have any interest in talking to it
Yeah.
about me, with me. And he doesn't even know, like, he has to ask me, like, what division I compete in. Like, he doesn't remember. Like, that's
Wow.
the level of, like, disinterest that he has.
Yeah.
And then I have like my best friend competes, but she doesn't follow bodybuilding. And
Mm.
so I was like, I just need someone that wants to talk crap with me. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
It's me, and I'm in like the opposite household where I have a person who's like probably more obsessed with bodybuilding than anyone I've ever met in my life, and sometimes I'm like, who talk about something other than bodybuilding?
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how to change the view where we're like side by side, but I don't know how to do
sadly, even though I told you I'm a tech wizard when we first jumped on this, I probably won't be able to help you with much, especially when it comes to Zoom. Just the fact that I got on here is kind of a miracle. Like I'm just
that.
not Zoom. Did you get it?
Yeah.
We're still up and down on my screen.
Oh, okay. Well, it's side
Yeah,
by side
that's
for me,
okay.
so we'll
Okay.
see what
Well,
the recording looks like.
yeah, what it shows up on the recording.
So I guess we'll start with introductions. So I'm Heather Tillery. This is Muscle and Muse first podcast.
Mm.
Hopefully we will be uploading mostly on Fridays. And then I added it to my link tree on my Instagram so people can see it there. Um, Super exciting. So I am an IFBB figure pro. I went pro at North Americans in 2022. Did not compete again until this year, and so I just did my pro debut at Tupelo, Atlanta, and Florida Pro. Feedback was more density, so we're going to work on that. I hired Amanda Keon's fiance to do my training
Oh,
program.
yeah,
Really excited about it.
yeah.
She only has me training 4 days a week, and it really messed with my head for a minute. I was like, I'm always a 5 day a week trainer. Like, so now on Saturdays I don't train, and I'm just at the house like I'm just supposed to hang out
Well,
with my
especially
husband
with
all
the
day.
change to your work schedule. So, like,
Yeah.
your work schedule at life is completely different, and then your training schedule being different. You're like, what am I doing with myself?
I know. I'm literally home all day. I block off my schedule from 12 to 1 every day just to go to the tanning bed, just to leave my house. Because I'm like, I got
Yeah.
to get out of the house. And the gym that I had been going to for years closed down right as I started prep. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And so another gym took that place and they have like home gym equipment. It's literally Fettle equipment. So it doesn't even hold enough plates for me to lift there. The V squat only holds like 4 plates per side, and
Oh,
half the equipment like breaks, it's falling apart. Like I was like, I can't do this. So I joined like 3 different gyms. So every day I was going somewhere different. So I finally, because I'm can make my own schedule, I finally found a gym that I like that has everything I need, but it's a
it's
30
just
minute
far
drive.
away.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? I'm at the house all day. If I'm in the car for 30 minutes, it's not a big deal because I'm not commuting an hour and a half to this clinic in freaking bunk crap over
Mhm.
here. So anyway, I am a family nurse practitioner. Um, I've been in heart failure specifically for 14 years, and I just left my corporate medicine job. I was a program coordinator for a hospital system, managing 4 clinics and 4 hospitals and doing program development, managing the providers, doing payroll, scheduling, all of that. And now I am full time with, we're called Elevis Medical Group. That's the group of providers. Morph is one of the clinics under Elevis. So we're called Elevis because we service, there's like 4 or 5 clinics that we have patients under. But Morph is how you can book directly with me. So that is also in my link tree. But now I am their director of clinical operations. So I'm doing some stuff on the admin side. And then I'm director of clinical education for one of the other companies that the people that own Elevis own. And so it's called RX Reinvented. And we are basically education and sourcing of peptides for med spas and other clinics. So super, super cool. Yeah. So that's me. Tell us about you.
Yeah. Well, my name is Angela, and I'm also an IFBB figure pro. I started competing in 2017. Prior to that, I actually owned well, from the very beginning, I actually started in fitness because I was actually severely overweight at one point in my life in my 20s. And I actually had a doctor sit me down and tell me that I needed to cut the shit and get real and stop making excuses. And I was like 29 and obese, and I actually wanted to have a gastric bypass. And this doctor was like, "No, you're way too young." She's like, "You need to get on fitness, get in a fitness plan. You need to start eating right and paying attention and making yourself a priority." And that sort of became like my journey into fitness. And kind of fast forward, we ended up opening a CrossFit gym, and I owned a CrossFit gym for 7 years. And that's kind of how I trickled into bodybuilding. I loved CrossFit. It introduced me to a barbell. I love the community. But I was finding that in my 30s, competing against 20-year-old athletes was actually like breaking my body down. And also, I never really looked like I worked out. Like I was a CrossFit level 2 coach. I trained probably 6 days a week, like very intense, but I always was kind of like fluffy. And I never really understood why I trained this hard, but I didn't look like it. And then I actually went to a bodybuilding show. Um, I was 35 or 36, and I went to the Arnold actually, and I just was like, wow. Like especially when the figure girls came out, I was just like, because the figure was still at the Arnold then.
Mm.
Mhm. And I just was like, I just literally shook something in my soul. I was like, I just felt like that when I saw the figure women up there, I was like, this embodies a woman. Like, I was like, it is grace, strength, beauty, class, like everything. I was like, I have got to do that. And I actually reached out to, he was into CrossFit more at the time, Jared Feather, he is a pro bodybuilder. He wasn't at the time. And he was more in the CrossFit world. So that's the only person I knew. And I was like, am I too old? Because at this point I was like 35 or 36. And he was like, absolutely not, dude. He was like, let's go. And then he became my coach for the next 2 years, and had really, great experience with him. And then just kind of felt like I needed to go to the next level, and uh, competed a couple more times after that nationally, but didn't really like, I am definitely on the small side for figure. Lucky for me, I can get very lean, so that allows me to be pretty competitive. Um, but also being older, like it just comes with like certain challenges of like growing the mass that you need, especially to compete in a division like figure. And then a couple of years ago, the way it came together for me to end up working with my current coach, who's Justin Jacoby, well, it was total fate that it happened, because I actually was looking at his page and uh, searching him out, and all these things kept happening. Where first thing was, I walked up to a girl at my gym at Signature Fitness, and her body was like insane. I never do this, but I was just like, I just have to tell you, like, your physique is insane. Like, and also like you're so feminine. Like, I couldn't imagine like how she could get that much muscle. And she was like, she told me she had just turned pro in women's physique. And I was like, who's your coach? And she's like, it's Justin Jacoby. And I was like, wow. I was like, okay, that's who I have been looking at. And then Justin actually reached out to me on Instagram when I posted a picture of me and Corey, my fiance, who's also a bodybuilder. Was like, I don't know who's coaching you guys, but if you're not with anyone, if you are, that's great. If you're not, I'd love to work with you. And then I was like, well, that's pretty weird, because I've actually been thinking about hiring you myself. And then that was it. And then so last year we had a great prep in 2023. Actually, no, it was last year. We had a great prep in 2024, and was very lucky to just have it be very smooth, and got my pro card. And I did do a prep this year, but that's kind of, we'll maybe tell that story another day. But aside from all of that, I also own a hair salon. I've owned a hair salon for almost 10 years. I've been a hairstylist, which is like my main, and I think that's something like Heather and I are going to get into, is like, we are, both pro bodybuilders, but it's very interesting in this world. And I don't think a lot of people understand is that even as professionals, bodybuilding is essentially a hobby, especially for most of us women, because there's not a ton of opportunities to make a like life sustaining income in
Mm-mm.
bodybuilding. Like certainly we can get like there's brand deals and sponsorships and things like that, but as women, there's I don't even know how many. I was talking to Tori about this. There's probably like less than a handful of women who are actually making money from bodybuilding.
No, if
So
anything,
we
it like
do,
drains my
yeah.
pocket.
Yeah, and I just don't think people, even I was talking about this yesterday with Corey. It's just like how many people are actually going, pros and amateurs, going into severe debt for bodybuilding, and like
Mhm.
just like those. So, anyways, I do have a whole career, which is hairstyling that I've done for 26 years now that I love, and I'm extremely passionate about it. But it's also been interesting now competing at an elite level to have a full-time career, especially a very physical job where we're on our feet or uh, I commute. I live in Charleston, but my salon's in Myrtle Beach, so I commute 3 or 4 days a week, 4 hours every day. So spending a lot of time in my car. So it's been really interesting to try to figure out, okay, how can I still compete at a more elite level and fulfill my passion, my hobby, my love is bodybuilding, but also like I have to have a career. Like I have to have real life. I have to make money, and you have to make money to support the hobby of bodybuilding. So that's kind of where I'm at in like my journey is like figuring out, okay, how can we do this? Like, how can I make this work and it be sustainable and at the same time, like, have it be fun,
Mhm.
because if you're, that's the interesting part is like, you gotta still love it. You gotta love bodybuilding and you gotta love, and it should be adding to our lives, not like causing us more stress. Like, oh my God, I have to like manage my career, I have to manage my finances, and still I want to perform very well in bodybuilding. I don't want to like I'm trying to get in 60th place. There's some people maybe trying to do that, but I know it ain't me and I know it ain't you. So
I think I almost
that's,
thrive in a state of like constant busyness.
yeah.
Like even in prep, it's like the more busy I am, the less I focus on prep, and because I don't want it becomes all consuming. You can't help it because it's
Mhm.
24/7. You're giving everything that you have, all of your energy, all of your hunger, everything to it. But up until I didn't quit Northside until the week before Florida Pro. So even my first two shows, I was working two jobs. I was working full time at the hospital. Morph is a full time job because these patients literally have my cell phone number essentially. Like they message me
Day and
all
night.
the time because I service people in California too, which is why like if you message me at 8 o'clock at night, I reply because my California people, they're only 5 o'clock. So it's still business hours to them.
Yeah.
Um, but it's these patients can be very needy, but that's okay. It's a
Hmm.
love language. And so, but now that luckily the people that own Elevus Medical Group are really good people, good Christian foundation. And, I was telling them, I was like, listen, I have such a passion for this job, but like, I've gotten to the point where my mental health can't do everything that I'm trying to do because I also do Krav Maga, and so I'm like it's taking me forever to get my belts because I can only do it once a week. And I've had to take breaks when I'm super lean because I don't want to injure myself because when you
Yeah.
do the kicks, like your knees, whatever. But, so I finally get to the point where I was like, I would love to be full time with you guys, but I can't have a commission based salary. Like, I have to have a salary. Like, I have to know my income because I've adjusted my life to having two jobs now. And so, anyway, they basically just made it happen for me. And I was able to leave the hospital. And
Yeah.
my mental health sense, like, even my family's like, you're so much, like, even my face doesn't look as like
Yeah.
downtrodden. Like, and
Your
I'm
skin
only
is just skinning, girl, though. I know we're going to talk
is
about
this
that another
ring? I
time,
got
but
this
it is
little
so good.
webcam with a ring light on it. It's so cute. I
So
got it on
nice.
Amazon, but it's making me look more lustrous than
I'm
I
gonna
am.
need that. I'm gonna need that.
Plus, Patrick Ta foundation is
Oh,
like
that's
chef's kiss.
literally was just about to put that on my Amazon today. I mean,
I
I was
freaking
doing
love
my
it.
makeup and I was like, I need to link this on my stories today because I'm like, I
I
was
love it.
wondering if it was just me or if
No,
everybody
I
loves it.
love Patrick Ta. Now you have to set it really well because it doesn't stay on your face all day. But it's so creamy and it like I don't feel like I have anything on my face when I wear it.
Yeah, it's
Granted,
so light.
now that I work from home, I don't really wear makeup much.
Hmm.
Because I don't go anywhere. Sometimes I'll put on makeup just so my husband doesn't think I'm ugly.
Yeah. So you're not catfishing your husband?
Yeah, yeah. But I show up at the 10 in bed at noon and they're like, what are you doing here? Like, do you have a job? And I was like, I do. It's just at home. And I got to take a break for
Yeah.
my dogs because I have five and they drive me nuts.
But honestly, like that is such a, a blessing too. It's just like, it's just that it's so interesting to me too, how like God will make a way in the right time. And when you look back on like this season of your life and like how you competed, like the shows that you did, how everything fell in line, how the opportunity presented itself, but not until the end of your season. So you still had to go through those shows. It's like, I just feel like there's going to be so many powerful lessons for you and understanding why that door opened when it did. And
Hmm.
like as you move into like your building phase and then your next your competition season, like how different it will be for you. But it's so interesting to me. It's like we can pray for things to happen, but we don't really understand like the timing or like we kind of think we know how it's going to happen and it doesn't always go like all nice and smooth like we think it's
Hmm.
going to.
I kept
So,
telling, kept telling God, I said, listen, you got to get me out of this hospital before September. And the reason being is because September is when all of the employee evaluations were due, and I have 40 direct reports. So I was having to
wow.
do 40
40?
evaluations,
Oh my God.
40 in-person reviews with them. And so, like, that's not pleasant when they're not performing right, you know?
Right.
And then, like,
Well, it's
they're,
difficult even when you have rock stars. So
yeah.
that's, I mean,
And, like, because it was four campuses, and keep in mind, like, I live here. So the Gwinnett campus was a 40-minute drive. Cumming's a 40-minute drive. Atlanta's an hour, and Cumming is an hour and a half. So, like, I'm having to go all of these places.
yeah,
Like, between January and August, I replaced six tires and two windshields. I'm like,
I know
I'm
the
so
feeling.
glad. And then as soon as I quit, literally the day before I leave for Florida Pro, someone in front of me hits a metal plate and it flies up and hits the front of my car.
Oh no.
And I was like,
Um,
so it's been in the shop and they've got me in
yeah.
some stupid little SUV that I hate so much. But they, I called them yesterday. I said, can I get an update on my vehicle, please? Because y'all have had it since
Hello?
Friday and I want to know if my
Yeah.
insurance is going to cover this because y'all are trying to charge me like $13,000 to fix
Oh
this.
my God.
They said that they needed to replace the windshield. I said, no, you don't. No, you don't. I was driving the car. Nothing hit the windshield. It hit the front end. You need to replace the bumper. There's nothing wrong with the
Were
windshield.
they looking at the right car? Why didn't,
I'm wondering if
why
they
don't,
did something to my windshield. I'm like, did y'all mess it up? Because I'm not paying for y'all to replace the windshield. You can pay. But like, I don't, I said, I want to know why you think the windshield needs to be replaced. They're like, oh, well, the person that wrote it up's out of office till Monday.
oh gosh.
I
Oh
was like,
my
okay,
God.
well, Monday, y'all call me and please let me know why you think the windshield needs to be replaced because that windshield's only been on there for a month and nothing's hit it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm just
So
glad not to be driving
all
nice.
the, exactly. Like, and people just don't, and I actually took for granted, like, what a toll that that takes us when I first decided that we were going to move to Charleston. And actually, like, I can totally relate to your issues with your gym because that's actually the reason we live in Charleston. So, like Corey, who is my fiance, he is a full-time bodybuilder. Like, he is an open bodybuilder and he's trying to make it like
I thought
his
y'all were married.
career.
When are y'all
No, we're
getting married?
engaged. I mean, well, when you are engaged to somebody who is obsessed with bodybuilding and turning pro and eventually being an Olympian and a top Olympian, that you kind of accept that that is going to be
The
like a
priority.
true priority. Like,
I just go to
and
the
when I say
courthouse.
priority, I honestly, it, no, it's not going to change really anything.
Hmm.
And I was married for a really long time before, and I, I do want to be married. We are engaged, but I also am just like it's just not at the top of my priority thing.
Sure.
We are. I don't want to say too much, but we are planning a Vegas vacation, and so
It's not in
yeah.
2 weeks, is it?
No, we're not. Unfortunately, we can't. He's in prep. He's competing at nationals in December,
Ah,
so
fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Traveling in
wants to.
prep's not fun.
So
Not to
he's
me
so
anyway.
funny though because he was like, uh, I let's do, he's like trying to like think about ways to like, when you're in prep, especially when it's really important prep and stuff, he's like, we don't do much, we don't do much anyways, like we're homebodies, you get that, but he was like, we should do like a little vacation after prep sometime. He was like, maybe like 6 to 8 weeks after, and I had to giggle because only another bodybuilder, and I was like, in my mind, I'm like, because he
You gotta
doesn't
nail
want to
his
like fuck
reverse
up his
before he can go on
rebound.
vacation. Yep.
Yeah, like he's still gonna prioritize not only his show, but also the 6 to 8 week rebound
Hmm.
after his show. So he's like, like 6 to 8 weeks. And I was like, I just laughed. And he knew exactly because I was like, okay, because of your rebound. And he was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyways, that could be a possibility
That's
too.
awesome.
But
My
anyways.
husband and I, like, he is my second husband. Like,
Mhm.
I got divorced like 2.5 years after I got married. That's not a story I want on the
Mhm.
internet, but um, no, Zachary and I met in like October and we got married in January. Like, we only dated for 3 months and
Wow.
we were married for a year before we told our families.
Why?
Because so I was engaged before I met Zach. And that relationship was a mutual parting. That person wanted children and I didn't. And I think that when you want kids, you should have them. And, you just got to find the right person for that. And so completely amicable. But anyway, with my family, it was 3 months after a failed engagement. I was already divorced. I just didn't want any negative. I knew.
Yeah.
But even my friends were like, you're crazy. And I was like, this is exactly why I don't want to tell anybody. Like, I'm just going to go do what I'm going
Hmm.
to do. And we'll tell y'all a year later when we've been successful. But my thing
Hmm.
was, I had a house that I owned from 2014 that I had lived in for 9 years by myself. Well, I've had roommates, but like essentially it was my home. And I was like, we wanted to live together because it didn't make sense. We were always together. I was like, I'm not selling my house unless you marry me because this has been my safe haven. This was the house that I had with my husband. I kept the house. He moved. I was like, this is my home and I will not leave it without some kind of security in this relationship. And so
Yeah.
that was why I mean, it sounds kind of
Yeah.
unromantic, but
No,
that was
no,
why
no,
we got
no,
married.
no.
I'm a very
Yeah.
pragmatic person.
Well,
Um,
and the difference between, but it's still kind of the similar foundation. It's just like when you are in love with somebody and you have a truly healthy relationship, which is like, that is what really matters. So
mhm,
it's like, yes. So like the marriage part, even though you're like, yeah, I want like the security and the foundation, like that unfortunately is what the actual like legal part of it
right.
is, because if you have the like I really couldn't ask for a better relationship, honestly. And so if I had focused more on the relationship and less on like the legal thing, then my previous relationship would have been different. So that's just like a life lesson. And I think that's why neither one of us, like, you have your partner, this is going to be your partner forever, but
I think also as we get older, you
yeah.
become more and more
Yeah.
aware of what you actually want and your non-negotiables. And
Yeah.
so like with him, within the first 2 weeks, I was like, listen, here's my rules. I will never change my name again. Tillery is my maiden name. I changed my name when I got married the first time. I was asked to change it back, which I was going to do anyway. And then I I'm not changing my name. I have medical licensures. I'm just not doing it. I'm not merging bank
It's a
accounts.
lot.
Yeah, I'm not merging bank accounts. I make decent money and I'm not going to have anybody tell me how I need to spend it. It's my money. You make your money. I'm not going to tell you how to spend it. If you want to go buy something, you don't need my permission. You go do your thing. We split the bills. And then I was like, and I'm not having kids. So shortly after that engagement breakup, I actually had my fallopian tubes removed because I was like, not possible, not happening. You got to be okay with that for real, for real. Because like it's
Mm.
not, I'm physically not able to get pregnant now.
Mm.
And since it's actually
Did you have a medical issues that you needed to have your full, or that was a decision to not, so you wouldn't have children?
so this is an interesting story. I'll kind of go into it because it can play a little bit into bodybuilding for sure. Because I was
Your
working
nails
on
look
that.
so good, by the way. Like, as those your new fall nails, can you just show the team those nails? They look so freaking good. Holy
My
crap.
nail lady slays. Like,
So you may not have the best gym, but you definitely have like the best beauty professionals around
oh
you.
yeah,
So
my lash girl is on
yeah,
fire. My hair
yeah.
girl is amazing.
Your aesthetic, your injector,
Yeah, she's
amazing.
great. So she used to be at Ideal Image, and the place that did my boob job, I would go there for injectables, but I always went to Ideal Image for Botox because it was cheap. But I loved her as an injector, and she actually moved to the place that did my boobs. So now
Oh, perfect.
but I will only
Mhm.
see her. Like I told them, I'm like,
Mhm.
no,
Yeah.
you will not put me with anybody else. Funny story though, I am Botox and injection trained. So, and
Oh.
speaking about, I'm very ADD. Y'all will tell this by my flight of ideas, but talking about the rebound phase. So 2 days after we get back from Vegas from the Olympia, I have to leave and fly to Dallas for a week. And I was like, I have a lot of anxiety about it because I'm going to be out of my routine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like Vegas, I'm not planning on nailing the week. Like I
Right.
plan on eating. I'm gonna have some
Yeah.
cocktails. Like I've already told my coach, I'm like, this is a vacation for me, but Dallas is
Yeah.
not. But I've told it's a work retreat with Elvis, and so I was like, "Can y'all give me the itinerary?" But it's in Dallas. I was like, "I want to go to Destination Dallas." I was
Hmm.
like, "Can I get the itinerary?" And I was like, "I'm not trying to be like that girl, but can you make sure I have time to go to the gym because I can't go
Yeah.
a week without training. Like I'm gonna go nuts.
Yes.
Y'all can't stick
Yes.
me in some cabin and tell
How
me
far is Total Recomp, that gym, from where you're gonna
I
be?
don't even know where we're going. I just know we're gonna be in
Oh, okay.
Dallas. So I'm
Oh, okay.
hoping that they give me the
Total Recomp is much better than Destination
okay.
Dallas.
Well, I'll try that then.
It
Um,
is.
but so after my show in 2020, because I worked with Matt Jansen from like 2018 all the way until I got my pro card. And I loved working with Matt. He's an excellent coach. Um, I just switched because I needed a little bit more communication than I was getting towards the end, not at the beginning. Like it was different. But I also knew Matt because Matt one of the guys that lived with me in my old home was the videographer for Arsenal Strength. And he was Matt's videographer when Matt was with Arsenal. So he knew Matt personally. Matt lived 10 minutes from me. So we actually would train at the same gym at the same time. And so I knew Matt personally. And so anyway, worked with him. And after my 2020 show, I started off in bikini in 2016, and I was told I was way too big because wellness wasn't a thing then. They're like, your legs are too big. But my back has never been big. It's like my body dysmorphia thing. My back will forever be small. Um, but I did figure in 2018, and I was with Matt Porter then. And then, Matt Porter passed away. And so, but also with Matt Porter, and not to speak ill of him at all, but he gave me my peak week plan at the beginning of the week and then never checked in with me again.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't gonna work for me, man. Like I peaked on Thursday, so I didn't
Yeah.
peak for I won that show, but it was like
I do feel like a lot of these coaches have come a long way along with us too. You know what I mean? Because
for
when
sure.
I look at some of the stuff that happened back in like 2000, 2018, and like I now I see those coaches. I know those same coaches are not doing the same protocol.
Yeah,
Like,
I know we've
so
learned a lot, and we've learned a lot
there's a
about the
lot of
peptide
learning.
space. Like,
Oh,
peptides used to be
yes.
voodoo. It's like do straight growth hormone, do these drugs, and now we know that like SLU is better than clenbuterol, and
Yeah.
tesamorelin
Well,
is
and
going to be
even the
better than
coaches that
growth.
are like hardcore, like you must suffer, you must starve, like they are like the hardcore bodybuilding. I won't name any names, but we know who we're talking about. Like even they are now like, okay, I want you on your Retatrutide, I want you on your tirzepatide. They're like, oh, GLP-1s, that does
It's a
like
tool in the toolbox. It's not a cheat code.
exactly.
It's a tool in the
Like
toolbox. It
you
helps with
can take
hunger.
Tren, but not tirzepatide.
Right. I've had people with more if they're like, hey, do you have Tren? I'm like, technically Tren is for horses, so no, it's not made
They
for
ask,
human consumption. We
they
don't
ask if
have
you have
it.
Tren. Oh my God.
But like I tell them, I'm like, you have an open, honest relationship with me. Like that's why I
Yeah,
want bodybuilders to come to me because I'm a clinic that's not going to dismiss you for whatever you're taking. If I'm going to read your labs, I need to know what you're taking so I can read them appropriately. But
exactly.
after my show in
Anyways,
2020, that was the first show doing women's physique, I believe. So I did women's physique and figure, and I crossed over. I won women's physique overall, but I was only against one other girl, so you can't really like call a spade, right? And I ended up getting third in figure. Both of those girls went pro. Phil Ebb, she was a women's physique Olympian. Now she does figure. She was in that show. And I saw her backstage and I was like, what the heck? I'm so
yeah.
small. These girls are
Mhm.
massive. And they actually told her to move up to women's physique. But anyway, my legs never, my legs did not have lines in them until North Americans, like ever. And I just hold all of my fat in my quads, not even my hamstrings,
Yep,
my
just the
quads,
quads.
the front of my
Mhm.
legs. I had cellulite on the front of my legs my whole life. Like, I don't think I wore shorts in public until I was in my 30s. Like, I just was so insecure about my legs. And, um, and so anyway, Matt was like, listen, tough love. Oh crap. The Zoom's going to end in 10 minutes. We got to hurry. Um, he's like, tough love. I've never had trouble getting somebody lean. You're doing 2 hours of cardio. We're blasting Clen in T3. He's like, I can't get you lean. I don't know. Something's wrong with you. So I did a Dutch test and my estrogen was like 300. My testosterone was
Wow.
3. My progesterone wouldn't even read. And I had a
Ugh.
Marina IUD and I knew I didn't want kids. And so he was like, I think we need to get your IUD out. He's like, and I'm not telling you what to do. He's like, but I think you need to be off birth control. And I was like, well, I ain't willing to have any oopsie daisies.
Right,
So that was
exactly.
when I decided to have my fallopian tubes removed.
Gotcha.
And I did a 12-week adrenal cleanse protocol, basically no caffeine. I only worked out twice a week, very low. I couldn't break a sweat essentially for 12 weeks.
Like for the
And
doctor's orders because
Matt,
of the
Matt's,
surgery?
Matt's protocol.
Oh, so both. So both your bodybuilding protocol and like doctor's
There
orders.
was no doctor order.
What is the normal recovery time for that? Is
Well,
what I
I
mean.
did that
Like,
after. I did that after
oh, gotcha. Okay.
my adrenal protocol because I was single at that
Gotcha.
time. Like it didn't matter.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I did the adrenal protocol, had my fallopian tubes removed, and then I met Zach like 2 weeks later. But then in December 2023, I tore my meniscus. But I also, like, there was one day I was at home, and this is going to be kind of TMI for some people, but I'm like in the bathroom and I'm like telling my husband, I was like, something is wrong with me. Something is stuck in my butt. Like, I'm dying. Like, something is stuck in my butt. Like, I can't poop. But I was pooping. Like I was like, something's stuck. So I called the owner of Morph. He's a doctor, and I'm like, David, I'm dying. Like something is wrong. I was like, I need something. So he called me in a colon cleanse, like for a
Uh-huh.
colonoscopy. So I took Go Lightly, and I'm
Oh,
like,
good Lord.
it's like pure liquid water. It's
Yeah.
clear at this point. Like that's how clean out I am. And I
Yeah.
still am having this pain. And I'm like bent over and I'm telling my husband, I was like, if this isn't going away in an hour, you're taking me to the hospital. Like something is wrong.
Wow.
And it finally went away. But then I remembered, I was like, oh, this is what ovarian cysts feel like. I just haven't had one in so long. So literally 3 weeks apart, I had my ovaries removed and my meniscus repaired 3 weeks apart because it was
Wow.
in December. Because I was like, if I'm going to be out, do it all because I
Just
want to
do
go
it all.
recover and get back to it.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
and it was after I recovered from those surgeries where I switched to Johnny Casalina as a coach, and
Hmm.
that was the best thing that I ever did for my career. Johnny is so incredibly communicative
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
smart, and not that I'm not saying that Matt wasn't any of these, so I'm not talking
Hmm.
about him at all, but just specifically about Johnny. He's so intelligent and he is very health focused, which Matt was too.
Yeah.
But he values my job. He values my knowledge on peptides. He lets me have input. Like I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take Tessamorelin when I get out of prep again. Like
Yeah.
I stopped at the month, but I want to continue taking it. I like it. It keeps my belly fat. I don't get any
Hmm.
belly fat. Like definitely want to stay on this. And so it was amazing. And
Yeah.
I think we maybe pulled me a little too lean for these shows, especially considering what was winning. Because it is a shape contest, not a conditioning contest. And looking back at my progress pictures, like I think I could have easily shown 10 pounds heavier because I was just as lean. So like
Do you think maybe more like filling out
I was 10 pounds heavier here. And to me, like just as lean, but like my back had so much
hmm
more like detail to it.
depth to it?
So,
Hmm.
but you learn, you live, you learn.
Got
I think
you.
it'll only get better.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about these shows that we just had. And then next week we'll do Olympia predictions.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna share
Were you
some.
surprised by any of the I did think the San Antonio, I mean, I think obviously she was deserving of winning, but I wouldn't say that I was surprised at all.
I actually like Julia's shape better than Christina's
Mhm.
personally. I think she's more streamlined, but I do understand why Christina won. Um, I like Madison's shape a lot, but Madison is very glute dominant, so I think that actually hurts her.
So glute
Um,
dominant and her and a little asymmetrical in the back. I think
yeah,
her back's
because
come a lot way this season.
yeah.
Like her back looks to me a lot better. Like she made improvement there than last season, but
She just didn't have as much like
I don't know.
detail.
I feel she could go into wellness, honestly, with
She
those
really
glutes.
could, but she
I mean,
does
they
have
are
a beautiful figure
intense.
shape. Who I was really happy to see do well was Rita,
Yeah.
here in the far left. I met her at Florida Pro. She's a teacher and super, super beautiful. She really came in a lot more. I say a lot more. She was conditioned at Florida, but she came in better for this show. And she won her master's class. Nellie here did Texas Pro and didn't do as great, but she came in a lot
Mm.
leaner. My thing with her was she was just very stiff on stage. Like she didn't smile at all. Like, but I can't say anything. I was that way at Atlanta Pro. Like I was so
Yeah.
nervous. But Julie, I can't remember if it's Julie or Julia. Like she just to me had just a beautiful streamline. Now Christina's back is better. So,
Mhm.
and then Masaki, I met Masaki at Tupelo Pro. And she's just lower body dominant. She just needs to bring up her upper body a little bit more.
Mhm.
But Christina, I think, will do decent at the Olympia. I don't see her in the first call outs, but of course, here's Sasquatch.
Mhm.
You got a teammate here.
Yeah, I
Um,
do have a teammate. They're very exciting to see her. That's her pro debut.
I know she looked
Uh, Getting
incredible.
fourth place.
Yeah, she looked really, really good. Very, but Justin doesn't have problems getting people lean.
No,
So,
he does not.
and then I love Helene's
But she
shape.
kept her side. You know, she could
Yeah,
definitely see improvements in her from her win. I believe she won nationals, not last year, the year before.
well,
So
I
you can
can't
definitely
remember.
say she's made really good improvements in her size, and I think definitely, I think she's going to compete again actually this season. But
She
that's just
should.
really exciting for her to take fourth, especially at that show and be, next to an Olympian.
Yeah. So Helene and Missy were only 1 point apart. I like Helene's back
Mm-hmm.
shot better.
I like Helene in general, but I like her shape
She,
better.
she's very streamlined,
Yeah, the waist
Missy's
is tighter.
Missy's more of a wow factor. She's very
Mhm.
dynamic, very X-frame. She's got these big shoulders, wide back, and she's actually really brought up her quads a lot. But with Missy, like she's going to have to come in leaner for the Olympia. I don't see her beating Jessica Reyes. I don't see anybody beating Jessica Reyes. I think Loma
Lola, yeah.
has a chance. Like she looks,
Lola's put on some good size. Like I actually saw her recently, and I was like,
her
I didn't
waist is
even
like
recognize
big.
her.
Yeah.
I was like, is that Lola? Like,
So I think
whoa, she
she'll be
looks
a top
different.
contender. Um, Sophie, actually, she's in Europe, I believe. She's really, really tall, but she's put on a lot of shape
Oh
for her.
my gosh. But
Yeah, I don't
also
have a
the
picture of
glutes
her.
on that girl, like, get
And
the hell
then,
out of here.
yeah, so I think she'll do well. And then, here's your
She's and
Dominican.
the improvement that Sophie has been able to make from the beginning of the season, because she won early on, I think
Hmm.
I don't remember what show specifically she won, but she had a lot of time. Like she went to a little bit of an off season and I was prepping and she's so lean already.
I know
Like
she looks
beautiful, beautiful
incredible.
shape.
And
Beautiful.
then Nadine won Dominican
Hmm.
Republic Pro. Lauren Calderani has made a ton of progress. She looks incredible.
Yeah, she
Um,
got what, second place?
she got third.
Oh, she got third. Okay.
Yeah, Adela got second here.
Yeah.
And this girl right here is already Olympia qualified. Um,
I love Nadine. I think she is just like
listen,
she's honestly one of my favorite. And
I took
I
a
mean, I
screenshot of
have it for
look
the
at her.
blondes,
Like
I have to vote for a blonde.
it's stunning. Like
Yeah.
she has got beautiful shape, size. Like she's not too big in my opinion. She's not too conditioned. She's just right.
Yep.
Like I could see her doing really, really well at the Olympia. So those are my call out discussions. Next time we'll get a little bit more in depth, but the Zoom's going to cut us off in a minute and
Okay.
in a quarter. So I this has been so fun.
So fun, of course.
But
Yes.
I will post this on YouTube. I guess I could post it today, really. I don't really know. I got to play
Yeah.
with it. But I'll tag you in the story and I'll post it with a link and
Yeah.
hopefully we get some
Give us a follow, you
subscribers.
guys. Yeah. And tell
So
us what topics you want us to discuss
yeah,
too.
comment, like
Yeah.
please. DM us whatever,
Yeah.
because we're going to talk about anything and everything. We're both super
We're
girly and like
open
girly stuff.
books as
Yeah.
well. We're talking about like things being stuck in our butts
Yep.
and
And we're not editing anything out. So you're going to see all the typos and bloopers and whatever.
exactly.
So next week will be Olympia predictions. And then the following week, I will be at the Olympia.
Fun.
So we will have to
So
figure out what time
exciting.
to do that because I'm going to be 3 hours ahead of you or behind you. But I still want to do it. And
Okay.
then we'll talk about Hurricane Pro predictions maybe the next time and then
Mhm.
results. And then
Oh, my
there's
girl Tessa coming to the Hurricane
oh,
Pro.
she looks so good. I love her shape so
So good.
much. She's one
She's
of
my
my
baby.
favorite.
Yeah.
Um, who I see doing really well at Prague is Amanda. God, I can't say
Oh
her last
gosh.
name. She
Yeah.
she's
But her
gonna be an
shape has come
Olympian.
along so
She's
well.
gonna be an
Also, her
Olympian.
legs. Yeah,
She's just
definitely.
perfection in my opinion. She's
Yeah.
one of my favorite figure girls.
Her and
Um,
her and Kian are probably gonna take the Prague for sure, I think.
I would love to see Keon win open. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's definitely got the structure.
He's insane. It's
Yeah. I met Keon at Junior USA's the year he went pro because he knew the guy I was dating at the time. So I